What if I started early? Oh my god, this is so loud in my ears. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me figure this out, guys. There you go. So you can have some bops. I don't know where the thing is. I did not plan this. I'm gonna assume it's critique. Oh my goodness. I assumed Ursula had started up the critique stream. Oh no. Oh no. Not the album. Uh, is that it? Yeah, that's it. Look at that. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know things. Oh, there's my little head. Here, I actually don't need this up here. I don't have the chat. I don't know how to do that. No, I don't need the chat. You can figure it out for yourself. I'm gonna go face cam. There we go. Hi. I'll find you. I found you. I found the chat. Hi. Okay. I can now see what you're saying. Hello, hydrangea eyes. AZ, MH, LP, AXB, HMP, SS. Hi. Hi, Ace of Pan. Aop. So Ursula's in the background making tea, and I'm going to judge people. So if you don't know anything at all, this is the critique stream, and I'm gonna adjust the camera because I like to slouch. It's a cute shirt, thank you. So this is the critique stream. We critique patrons. I critique the writing. Ursula spends 5 hours critiquing the art. And yeah, if you want in, you get in on the month that is happening. Next month is February, and because we're moving at the end of the month, the February critiques are going to be done in March, actually. But you get your critique submission in by March, and wait, by the end of February, and then we're gonna do it in March because we're moving at the end of February. So there you go. 5 hour critique. I also have a skull to help guide us through today. This is my last skull. I only have one left in the house. Very sad about this. I mean, I guess I have multiple skulls if you count the ones that are like in flesh. The fleshless skulls, I only have one. It's a nice little lamb skull. It doesn't have a name, but it helps me. It will guide us through. How do patrons submit something for critique? You do it through the Discord. You have to connect through the Discord. If you miss the critique thing, just chat with us on Discord, and we can give you like extra slots if you just couldn't figure it out. Did the stream crash? Did it? No, it didn't. You're just failing. Lamb's call named Charlie. All right. Okay. So I see AZ is here, and I think I read their scripts. Yes. And I gave myself notes this time because I don't hate myself. I say AZ, even though, like, you think as a Canadian, I'd say AZ. Right. Okay. Right. Okay, so this one was blow the candle out, I believe, is what it was. Okay, for this one I have a singular note. So, like, we're going mostly off my brain here. I mostly don't have a lot of notes because I really did enjoy it quite a lot. I know some of your later questions at your end of your scripts outline thing was about like character and dialogue, and I think that was all like chef's kiss. Is very good. You have very, very strong characters. I think you get across like their deals pretty well. Um, yeah, you had quite a few questions. I know the general gist of your questions. Because you had questions about pacing and stuff, and then you had questions about character. And yeah, I think your characters are very strong. I can tell them all apart. Which was helpful because the way that you write scripts, I understand because everyone writes scripts just for themselves, but like you don't attribute who's saying what. So sometimes I would get confused about who is talking. Like that's just like just a formatting thing that I had difficulty with. But because they were so unique, it was pretty easy to usually tell who was talking. There was just like a few times where I I don't really write it like a script. Surprisingly, your outline. When I saw an outline, I was like, oh, okay, but your outline is more scripty than some people's scripts that they send me. So I think you can class. Oh, sorry. I think you can class it as a comic script. I think you can get away with it. Um, yeah, I really like the dialogue. I really like the characters. Um, it definitely feels like a character piece, which is cool. I do like things that are very character focused rather than really heavy plot focused. Um, but it didn't feel like aimless and fluffy. Like it does feel like it's going somewhere. It's just kind of like that more of like a simmering kind of pace that like character studies have. Um, so yeah. Um, I also really like the a lot of your scenes are very strong. Like I could kind of figure them out. Specifically with Gil, I think you put a lot of love into like all of those scenes, and it very much shows through. I'm sorry, I'm terrible at names, and I didn't write them down. But yeah, I think all your scenes with Gil, like the what is it? I can't say that word. I'm just gonna map boy. Yeah. Katog. I don't know. Map making. Yeah, like cartography. Okay. Well, there we go. But yeah, I thought those were very strong. I definitely got like a sense for his like neurodivergency ness. It was well acrossly put. Um, I I think where there could be like a lot more. I don't even know if a lot is like the good word, but I feel like the Des scenes specifically like. No, not specifically. I think the Des scenes need more work. Like, I don't feel like they have the same amount going on. Like, I understand that Gil is the main character, but they feel very similar in importance. And, I guess it's less similar importance and more. It feels like Des either needs more fleshed out scenes for him, or you need to pull back on Des and exclusively focus on Gil. I've gotten that feedback before. I'm gonna add more to those. Yeah, I noticed when he first shows up, I like that scene, and then the second time he appears, I believe it's just kind of a dialogueless scene with him in the bar, and it's very quick and it felt very sudden. A bit more mystery at first, and I plan on expanding him more on later on. Okay, if that's kind of what you're going for, like I considered this too. Like, don't show him then. Like, I think you can continue just following Gil throughout the day until he meets him, and then you could start like introducing his scenes to add mystery. But like, I feel like you need to either go all in or all out at first, because otherwise it doesn't quite match up, I guess. Like, don't make him the POV at the very least. Like, maybe he can be in the background of some like establishing shots or whatever, but I wouldn't go like right. You either go completely deep into him or back off for a while. Yeah, I think that would make it a lot stronger. Because it does feel like a little frustrating to like not have the same amount of like depth going forward, because like I don't like I get a sense for his motivations pretty well, but like I just feel kind of distanced from him, and not in like a mysterious way, more of a like, why am I not allowed to like see more of this guy? And I think those were when I found pacing issues. Within scenes, I think your pacing is really good. Like all of your scenes have very understandable arcs to them. Like they have build and payoff, and I think you do that very well. It's like the overarching stuff. I think it's specifically because of the Des thing, where where it doesn't quite have the same amount of build to it. I think there's a lot of like potential there, and I think it just takes like a little more like messing around with like the pace to get that. But I think it's like really strong. I did find it like a little quick. Like maybe this is again like a Des thing, but I did kind of find it quick when he like shows up and like has already talked to Gil's dad and knows a bunch about him. Like it felt kind of out of nowhere for me on that case too. Like it felt like something that needed like some sort of build up to it. I think that was what I found with that. Yeah, just experiment, and I think that's like where the focus should be for things. Otherwise, like I don't have tons to say because it is a really strong piece. If you have like more questions though, I can answer them. I know you asked about the stutter. The stutter is written well. I just say if you are someone who ends up doing captions or whatever, what are they? Like descriptive text or whatever, I just make sure to like just get rid of the stutter and just say it stutters, because like that's always frustrating when you're doing text to speech with the stutters, because it always goes st 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 stutter, and it's so annoying. Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, it's fine. It comes across really well. Yeah, you have to be a patron, guys. No, it's okay. I just don't highlight it. It's fine. I just know if you have like more of a visual impairment, it's more annoying or whatever, or any sort of like I don't know. Yeah. All right. I will move on to the next one if you are good with everything I say. All right. Don't have any on top of your head. All right. I hope that was helpful. Fado eats money. What? Eats only money. Get that bread. Okay. The next one. I don't know if they're here. Who is the person who did 8 World here? Because I oh my god. I don't know what their name is. Whomst? Oh, that's you. Oh, talking bunny rabbits. Okay, yeah. Okay. I have a lot of notes for you. I'm sorry. I did like it. Okay. I always like everything that everyone makes, except some of you when you do frustrating tropes. Um, However, I very much enjoyed your world building. Um, that was kind of like the first thing I noticed was like good world building, interesting. I am intrigued. Um, I really liked in the beginning how you were able to chop up your vegetables and put it in a way that was like less noticeable. So like you were able to get across what a duet was and what this kind of ceremony was without it feeling very maiden butler, which is like, as you know, duets are this, blah blah blah. It was like on that edge, but like not so much that it felt like frustrating or by any means. Um, I'm just reading my notes. Uh, mm, and like the scenes felt fine. Um, and if I hadn't, if I hadn't gotten to the point where I did, reading the story, like I think like your first scenes work really well. However, with the time skip that happens, it ends up feeling like the first half of your story is like it feels a bit long in the sense that I feel like it if this is because it effectively serves as a prologue, I think, um, and with that, I think you might want to be a lot more focused with what you're trying to get across because it ended up being like how do I get this across? But like it felt like reading the beginning of a story, which like obviously makes sense. Like, yes, this is the beginning of the story, but a prologue doesn't serve that. Doesn't isn't like intended to be the beginning of a story. It's sort of like to get either information across or um to show information like past information that's needed and also to kind of set the tone or something, or in your case kind of contrast the past to the future, which I think are fine ways, but like it wouldn't be set up in the way that you kind of have it where it feels like kind of the beginning of a story. It's like yes, here is this world, here's this kid, he's going to find out his thing, and then hard cut to the future. Um, yeah, like I think it would have been fine to like have him going to the what is it? It's not a god, but like going to do the ceremony thing, like starting there, and maybe the conversation with his mom if it does end up being like kind of important later, and then a cut. But I wouldn't have it as long with introducing every single character. Um, on the flip side of that, I think you need to slow down with the story that comes after that. You did a really good job setting things up and building things up in like a natural way in your beginning section, and then when it skips to the future, I felt very out of my depth. I feel like I'd lost a lot of information, and I couldn't quite keep up in the same way that I had. Um, because like thinking about like things that would because what ends up occurring in like the bulk of your story is very interesting, and I can tell that the characters are very invested in it. Like there's wars and stuff, and like someone's going off to battle soon, and like there's separations of souls, and it all sounds very interesting and exciting. However, I don't have the background understanding to be invested in this. Like I've seen him as a kid. I don't know what he's like in the future. So like I would take some time to build up a status quo before you go off and send him on his way. Um because like when the shades attack, I don't know what a shade is, for one. I don't know if it's normal to see these or if it's like something new, because I don't know the world enough. And I know the past world a little bit, like back in the past, but I don't know enough to know if this shade thing is normal. Um, with the stranger, I know that they are titled as a stranger in the script. However, when I was reading it, at first, when they show up, like with just the dialogue, I don't know if this is someone they've known from the past before. Like, I don't know if this is weird because they ended up kind of talking in a way where it felt like they did know each other, and I could imagine that would be kind of confusing. Um, uh, and when it gets to like the end point where he's met this new person and he's talking with his siblings, and they're like, maybe this is your duet, like, and he's like, no, it can't possibly be. And they're like, have you looked into their eyes? And he's like, no, I haven't. And then he just leaves and like doesn't wait to see if they wake up at all, to like test if this is the case. Like I didn't quite understand why that happened, or why you hung a lantern on the fact that like, oh, like you haven't actually looked into their eyes, you don't know if they're just going to leave anyways. um I can see ways that that could be set up fine. Like I feel like it was probably like he needed to go to the thing either right now or wait, and he was like, no, I gotta go to the thing, this is my only chance. But again, like, you need to set up those building blocks. And I think like this is a problem I have like every single time that I write, where I want to get into all this really exciting like stuff, but if you don't spend the time to set up a world, like your readers aren't going to be able to catch up. And I think that all these scenes are really interesting, and I can tell this is going a really cool place, but you need to set things up. Like I need to know what the new status quo is as adults. Um, like I need to have some context for what the war is. I need some context for what the bigger world is like outside of it. I need some context of how the family dynamics are, especially now that like his mom is gone. Like that's interesting. I also want to know like the dynamics between him and the other people who go to the ceremonies, and the fact that he's continued to stay there. Like that might be like a good launch off point of having the scene with his mom, and then now he's like 20 whatever, and you know, you can hide some of like all the interesting stuff that you might be trying to like hide, like why he has a scar or whatever, but you need to take some time to like explain like what the world currently is right now. I hope I'm getting that across. Um what I mean. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. Um I feel like every time I review you guys' first chapters, I'm always going to say, I don't know if this begins at the right place. You're making sense. I'm just a bit quiet because I'm writing notes. Okay, no problem. You write your heckin' notes. Um, I'll be like, I'll just talk casually if you have any questions that come up in your head about what's going on. Yeah, because there's all sorts of cute things going on in all of your stories. What's going on? Everyone's just chatting. Bully Bones into shoehorning Patreon into the video titles in the future? No. You know why I don't do that? Because if I put Patreon, no one's gonna watch. It'll lower my view count. And when you guys are asking questions like, how do I join? That is engagement, and YouTube likes that. I'm sorry. I gotta play the game. You gotta play the YouTube game where you gotta be sly about everything.
Listen.
Because if I put Patreon critiques, no one's gonna show up and ask how to join, and then I get to explain. You join this by becoming a patron, just $8 a month. You can get 3 things critiqued, or you can get 1 long form critique. You know, I critique 40 pages of script, and I'm really bad at telling you guys no. I've been hesitant to slow down even more, but I will do my best. Yes, okay? Like, sometimes it feels like if you slow down, like, not enough plot's gonna be going on, and it'll get boring or something, or people can't wait to see. I will say, like, based on, like, what I read, and when I was reading your notes at the beginning, where you're like, I'm sorry that their, like, soulmate or whatever doesn't show up early on, like, we don't have a meet cute right away. That's fine. Like, I don't mind that at all. Like, in fact, it might be better to slow down on that, because you set up the problem where it's like, he doesn't have a soulmate, and you can't just give him one. Like, we can take time. We can bully him a bit, you know, make his life hard for a while, and then when we have a meet cute, we can all gasp and be like, is this the one? But you need to just slow down to let that do it. Let your story breathe. Yeah. Ursula talked for the first time in forever. It scared me. She's just sitting in the corner, all cheeky like. Okay. I think that's all I have to say to you guys. Yeah. Say goodbye to me and my skull friend. Madoka wants to eat it. Wait, that's not Madoka.
Don't let her eat it.
Do you want to eat a skull?
No.
Do you want to eat the skull?
Don't do it. Mabel, we paid
All right.
good money for that skull.
Peace, my friends.
Lear. Hello. All right, I got you that for your birthday. Hello. Hello. Hello, everybody. Ooh, woo. Okay, let's do this. It is time. I made a giant pot of tea so that my voice doesn't die today, because we got a lot of submissions this month. Which, good on you. Everyone's starting the year all productive. I'm proud of you guys. We're cute together. No. We're a horrible couple. No chemistry. I do be kind of 90s today with my plaid and my choker. I'm feeling it.
The sheet matches her.
Oh, you're right. My blanket. The blanket I have is the same plaid. Well, see? We're a horrible couple. He taketh away. Now all my flyaway hairs are gonna show. Dang it. Ooh, your ears were hot. Did you have these in your ears? No.
No.
Why are they so hot?
I don't know.
They're like burning. Ooh. Giveth and
Throwing
be taken.
fire.
Okay. I'm sorry. I have to figure out my setup because I did not set up before the stream. Like a fool. Critique. Oh.
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
critique one.
Nice. Okay. I gotta figure out how to set up the chat.
So I spent my morning looking up guillotines.
As one does.
Just vibing, you know, as one
No.
as he do. Guillotines
As
are
he
really
do.
really interesting, guys. I didn't realize that they used them up to 1978 in France.
That's wild.
That's metal. They only stopped because they stopped capital punishment in general, which, you know.
Good. I approve.
Yeah.
Not a fan of capital punishment. Okay. Now we're set up, boys. Okay. Now me and we need to name these skulls.
Bring them back. I feel weird naming them because they might have had names in life.
Me and Gordon Ramsay?
I don't think that's a ram.
No, that's just a sheep.
Sheepy.
Sheep. Me and Wooloo are gonna. Okay. Critique. Who would like to go first?
Me.
Bones? I see Hex. I see Ace. I see V. Who wants to go?
ICV.
Ace wants to go. Powerful energy. Okay, where is your submission? See, there's so many. You guys are so productive. Here we go. Here we go. I found you.
In your hubris.
In your hubris. Okay.
Critique me as a person. Garbage.
As a person,
Stinky garbage.
5 out of 10. Average person. Okay.
I'm being lumped.
I'm like, I'm nervous. I don't know why. Ursula, you do this every month. Don't be nervous. Okay.
We get nervous too for whatever reason.
I don't know. It's hard. I'm like, I don't want to. What if my biggest fear is like, what if my advice isn't helpful? You know? Sorry, I'm pouring my little cup of tea so that I have it. I'm fully not prepared. Okay. Okay. So this character. Oh, right. Sorry. Refresh. So this is the character from your story about seasons, like seasons personified. So this is the god of summer. He smokes to annoy other deities. How dare. And his scar and his blue eye are a result of fighting with the goddess of winter. Feedback on shading, anatomy, and posing.
I like his bod. I wanna hold his arms.
He does have a rockin' bod.
You're getting better at muscles, I will just say.
You do be getting good at drawing those muscle men. Wait, Ursula, if you say one single negative thing about their art, they will stop drawing and burn your house. Oh no! Exactly. We'll wear that title with pride. Yes. You did draw, he looks very muscly. He's got a very, like, Dorito chip, build, like the shoulder hip ratio you've got going, which is nice. Thanks for censoring, Kuro. We fear the YouTube. We do. I like the color palette. It's nice and like it feels very like subtly summer, which I like. Like I like the hints of the orange and stuff, and I like how he's got very like earthy kind of tones to him. Like It's nice and subtle. And yeah, and I like the orange in his eye. I really like the shadow kind of background stuff. Shadow? Did I say shadow? Smoke. The smoke in the background that you've got going on. I think it's a really nice kind of decal going on in the background, and I like the color you chose for it. I also like, yeah, I think you just did like a really nice job with like framing this thing. Like I like the pattern in the background. I like this kind of like square decal thing you got going on in the back. It just gives it vibes. I'm getting kind of like Art Nouveau Gilded Age vibes from it, kind of. Though honestly I'm not sure, like, is he supposed to be like in a modern setting? Is it more like is it a modern setting, or is it more like kind of historical and he's just wearing kind of plain clothes? Like yeah, it's hard to tell the We Love a Gatsby exactly. Yeah, but yeah, I'm not really sure about the time period based on his clothing, though like men's clothing kind of hasn't changed much in the last little while. Yeah, because like it could be a 70s vibe, it could be like the boys are always wearing the high pants. But yeah, I really like the kind of neutral gray color you've used in the background. Like I can tell it's the same kind of greeny blue that you've got going for like his shirt and stuff. But I like how you've like made it very neutral in the background. It fits well. It like fits in with the color palette while not being distracting, which is really nice. And yeah, overall I think the colors feel very balanced. I think you could have, it's hard to say because like I think you used like a bit of a darker background, which I think really makes like the smoke pop, as well as like the kind of highlights on him, which is nice. You could have gone like maybe a little bit lighter to kind of help with contrast, like especially around like his hair. It's mostly his hair that kind of like blends in with the background a little bit, but I feel like that's just like a nitpick. I think like the colors are like 99% there. Honestly. It's a modern setting in the story, but the deities existed in other time periods. Okay. High pants equals fashion. Exactly.
Fado is upset right now. He wants outside because
No.
he's just carrying his ball back and forth. He wants to bring it outside and bury it.
Of course.
That's what he's upset about if he barks at you.
See him going in the background. Fado. Yeah.
When I interject, it's to give Ursula's voice a break. She can
Thank
ignore me if she wants.
I will. I'll just talk over you really loud. Okay. I find his mouth a little distracting. I think it's because there's just something about the way it's been kind of colored that it feels like it just like, I feel like I know what the problem is. I feel like you haven't shaded the teeth quite so dark that it looks like they're inside his mouth. So because the shadows, because it's so light and the shadows are so light.
Oh, I thought it was like white lipstick.
Oh. No, he's smiling. Yeah. But just because the shadows aren't very dark, it feels very like it stands out, and it doesn't quite feel like it's inside his mouth. So yeah, so you just need to add some shadows there and kind of darken things up. Teeth are surprisingly dark, is what I've learned. It's like people tend to draw teeth as like bright white, but teeth tend to be either like yes, but no, but they tend to be darker. Like and the shadows on teeth are quite dark. It's a balance. Like you do kind of want to like lessen the contrast so that all the attention doesn't go to the teeth, but like yeah, just needs a bit more shadow there. I added it because my mom said his mouth looked empty. Oh heck. Like I like him showing off the teeth and stuff. Yeah, just needs a bit of shadow. It's a minor thing. Anatomy wise, like I said, you did a really good job with like making him feel muscular. I find his torso looks very structured, like his torso and his hips. His arms are a little kind of wibbly. Like in here, like his forearms specifically feel like they're missing a little bit of structure. And his fingers feel a bit kind of like not as sturdy as they could be. But yeah, I think you got the tools to fix that up. It's just something to keep in mind. I'd also be careful about this pocket fold here, because it looks like his hand like stops here. Like in this front band thing, because you've got a fold here that's been shaded in pretty dark, and it looks it looks like the pocket ends here, so you might want to just like make sure you have the shape of his hand inside his pocket if you're gonna draw attention to it like that. Yeah. Yeah, overall he's a handsome boy. And honestly, my feedback is very nitpicky stuff. So yeah, I think you did a really good job. Do you have any questions, Ace? I actually drew a guy with a hand in pockets today. And I shaped it right this time? Hell yes. Powerful. You're way ahead of me. I just spilled tea on my lap. I'm a mess, guys. The shading? Really nice. I like how you've gone in and you've added like lots of little details and highlights. I did notice, I think you did a really good job with like figuring out the planes on like everything. Like everything feels a lot more structured, and I think part of it is the way you've shaded everything. So I like how you have these like these highlights like on his cheeks and on his forehead and on his nose. You even got it like along his jaw to like show the muscle there, and like it's nice. This is what I've been like looking for from you. I'm really proud of you. You did a good job here. And yeah, and you can notice it like on the folds of his clothing. You can see it in his hair. Like I know in the past sometimes like you've had trouble with like adding highlights and shadows to the hair, but it feels like you've really modeled the locks of hair and the folds in clothing and stuff. I think you did a really good job on the shading. I like what you done. He feels very shiny and nice. It's good. It's very nice. And I like I feel silly, but I noticed it here in his chest where I like how you've got these like little details where you've added like small highlights and stuff that really kind of help bring the structure out. So good work. Yeah. Ursula's got the vapors. Oh.
You love that. Like,
What?
oh, it's got the vapors. Charlie recently learned it from me.
Really?
Yes.
Oh dear. That one's a classic though. you have any more questions, let me know, Ace. Otherwise, I'm gonna move on. You do have a lot of entries here. Entries?
Oh, I see more
Submissions.
noses from Ace.
More noses?
Yeah.
Like different kinds of noses?
Yeah.
You gotta up your nose game. I love your work. How many of these are you doing today?
I want to see some more face adventures.
More face adventures.
Like, I don't think Ace has same face by any
No.
means, but I'd like to see it pushed in other directions, even if you don't end up staying there. That's my wish
Totally.
list.
That's your wish list. We are doing quite a few of these today. We're going through a bunch of submissions from our Patreon supporters. If you are interested in getting your work submitted to the critique, you got to sign up for our Patreon. Link down below. And then you can get your stuff critiqued next month. Okay. So for your next one, this is your what's it called? Not a credit card. Business card. That's it. Okay.
Certified gamer.
Certified gamer. Oh my goodness. Okay, feedback on composition, colors, and anything else.
I just want to inform you that Fado is still pacing with the ball. He has not stopped since I borrowed it up. He
Fado!
keeps going to the door, tapping his paw to it, and then doing a little loop around the house. Oh, he's over to the door now. Look, he's gonna tap.
Fado, you got your ball?
Take it from him.
Sorry.
Oh, Madoka got it.
Oh no! Well,
Betrayal.
I'm sorry, buddy. She will. She's gonna be so annoying. Okay. Composition wise, the thing that stands out to me the most is your I like the illustration. The composition of them is nice. Like I like how you're working in like threes where you've got like your eye goes between the three elements and it's nice and I like it.
Fado is now sitting underneath like all your wheels, so don't move your chair.
Fado, why do you
He's
do
nestled
this?
between them.
I'm gonna roll him over and okay. As for your typography, the your websites and stuff, they're very squished down here in the middle. I like the way you align them so they're kind of center aligned so they work with the contours of the illustrations around them. But you need space on either side to make them a lot easier to read. They won't feel as cramped. You can still mold them to like the shapes around them, but you need like padding between the elements so that they don't run together. And it makes them easier to read. Yeah, with like typography, like obviously you can overlap things, but if you're having like elements beside each other, like pretend there's like a giant outline between each element. There we go. There's the squeaks. I'm sorry, Maple. But yeah, and I think you should give more space to your name and title here. Just cuz like they kind of blend in like background elements. You got to treat your typography like it's the main element and your illustrations here are just kind of highlighting it. So yeah, definitely like I'm not sure if it's like a size thing or like a bold thing for the title, but like you need to beef it up somehow and give it more breathing room. I'd even consider cutting the bunny at the top just to give your text more space. I think you can keep this kind of like watercolor background piece, like that's really cute. But I think you gotta get rid of this bunny, unfortunately, just to give your text more room. Um, Adding an outline to the text might make it harder to read. I think it's more like a hierarchical problem. Kind of. I'm not sure. Um,
This is Ursula's graphic design,
yeah,
graphic design gray coming out.
exactly.
This is her life. This is where she makes the big bucks, actually.
Yeah, actually, where I make my living. Yeah, because you're basically like I think the size of the Ace of Pancakes at the top here is good. It's just it's being squished around other elements, which makes it blend into the background instead of being like your heading on your card. And it squishes like Illustrator down into the bottom where like you don't really notice it. So I'd give it some more space, kind of give it like a space of its own instead of having to wrap it around things. Yeah, and just move it up because like it's very squished down here at the bottom, especially with like your tags and your website. Yeah, so move all that stuff up, give it its own space, and same for your website and ads and stuff. Like give it space. It needs to breathe, needs to be readable. Your art's super cute, and obviously you need your art on your business card because you're an illustrator. But give your typography some space. Yeah, hopefully that helps. Yeah, let me know if you have any other questions on that. Let's moving on to your next one. A redesign of one of my characters from my comic. Oh, Morpheus, right, from the circus comic. Okay. More fitting as the ringmaster of the Circus of Dreams. I'd like feedback on the shading, colors, composition, design, anatomy, etc. Okay. So yeah. I saw this before because you posted it in the Patreon chat. I think that was during one of our hangouts that we do, one of our voice chats. But yeah, I love the colors. I really like the through line of the gold on Morpheus. It's nice. It brings you through it. I like how you've got the echoes of the moons all through his outfit. Like you've got the upside down like crescent with his tails of his coat. I like the little moon buttons and the little brooch at his throat, plus his like his hairpiece and his boots. I think it could be a bit stronger on his gloves. But honestly, like it's good. It's nice. Oh, hello, BattleBox. Welcome. But yeah, but the through line is excellent. I really like how it plays with the kind of like purpley blue that you've got going on, or I guess like pastel purpley lilac color going on with the rest of the piece. Yeah, it just vibes real nice. You've got good contrast between like the different elements, like nothing's like blending in together. Well, actually, minor nitpicks. Around his hair and his collar, there could be a bit more contrast. I'm not sure if that's like upping the highlights in his hair, or lightening the color. Just the colors are a bit too close. That's like a really minor thing. Yeah, I really like the pattern you've got going on in the background. Like, it really... Your backgrounds, I like what you're doing because they're really, like, adding to the vibe of the illustration. Like, I like how it looks like a set. like these totally look like like a cardboard or wooden set behind him, and like the hanging stars and stuff, and the stripes of the circus. Like that's really good for the vibes. So that's a really nice touch. There's some other little things I noticed, like with his coat and his sleeves. That it's a little weird how they overlap. Just because with the tails being like behind him, like wouldn't his sleeve be like in front of the tail? It's also really close to being like a tangent or a major merger, meaning like when two objects like touch like just like barely along the outline, it can look like it can make them seem flat or like they're on the same plane. Tangents are the bane of my life, exactly. But yeah, so I think you either need to like move the sleeve out so it's like this one where they're not touching, or you need to like overlap it more, if that makes sense, just to get rid of that tangent. I love the little curls down here. That's really nice for making it feel like very like full, and like it has structure. Overall, again, I think you've done a really good job with like the shading and adding highlights and kind of defining all the planes, and shapes and stuff. I especially like the shiny texture you've added to all the gold. Like it really feels like metallic, which is really nice. And I think overall, like, you've done a really good job with that. There's a couple places where it's like not quite there. I noticed it a lot with the tails, where like it's hard because it's such like a big piece, where I'm not really sure how to do the shading on like coattails like this. I feel like if I was doing, I'd grab reference of it to just see like what a big swath of fabric like that would look like, just because it feels a little bit choppy here. Like I'm not sure if it needs to be blended more or something, but it just feels like a little bit weird on his coattails, like the highlights and shadows. Implied more shape to it. Yeah, it's hard. I get you. Because where you have like smaller shapes, I think you've done like a good job with shading everything. And add it, like I really like this fold like right here. It's got good depth to it. I like it. But yeah, but elsewhere I think you've done a good job. There's just like a couple little things. I also find the fold of his shirt a little strange. Sorry, the fold of his sleeves. So like this fold, the way it looks like his sleeve is like curling, like moving forward and twisting around his arm. Like it has a weird movement to it. Where like, I don't know, can I show it on my sleeve? It's hard because my sleeve isn't like pillowy or billowing, but the folds are kind of more like horizontal ways, like around my arm, instead of like these feel very like vertical, if that makes sense. I probably should have connected it to the elbow area. Yeah, that would help, like having folds around the elbows, and just having them kind of like drape downwards more, where you have like tension at the top and then kind of folds where the sleeve kind of disconnects from the arm, if that makes sense. You can probably find pictures of it. References, that's it. References of it. But yeah, but I think it, like, minor things, just some little folds need feel a little weird and stuff. But yeah, overall, I really like the piece. The colors are stunning. So yeah. Yeah. Should do some clothing studies? Hell yes. I love doing clothing studies. That's my favorite. But yeah, overall, it looks real nice. Do you have any other questions, Ace? Right, the palette's so good. I'll take a moment to drink my tea. Sip, sip, exactly. Does the anatomy look all right? Yeah, like, yeah, honestly, like he's definitely stylized. Like, I mean, all your work is stylized, but yeah, everything feels nicely proportioned. I did notice in like previous designs of Morpheus, it felt like his legs were like too long. Sorry, yeah, we do gotta hydrate. But yeah, we're because like he's supposed to be very tall, right? But yeah, but anyways, but here it feels like pretty balanced. He seems like just like a lanky character. Yeah, no, the anatomy seems pretty good. Oh no, the stream's crashing for you. I'm sorry, Hex. Like, if I was gonna be like really nitpicky, like this foot feels like a little out of perspective or too small. Yeah, no, I think it's good. I think it works. Let me know if you have any other questions, Ace. No prob. Okay, who would like to go next?
Me.
Bones.
Review my art, please.
I will.
Thank you.
Who would like to go next? Let's see.
V.
V? Oh, heck. Do it, V.
Battlebox Cat needs to go soon. Oh, Battlebox has to leave in 20 minutes.
Shoot, okay. Metalbox, you're skipping to the head of the line. I gotta find your thingy, your submission. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Okay. My friend. Let's see what
Festoon is such a good word. I won't interrupt. They only have 20 minutes. I'm sorry.
Gosh, okay. Right. So these are like the thumbnail kind of sketch for a short comic you're working on. And you were looking at a general critique. How's the pacing? Can you identify who the main character is? There are a few things at the beginning that have yet to be explained. The answers of why and how will be revealed. Okay. So looking through it, so it's in like webtoon format, so it's like each of these lines is like a page, basically. So I could tell what was going on through all of it, pretty much. I found, my goodness, sorry. I found that, yeah, it was easy to follow. I could tell the characters apart. I got the gist of like the story and what was going on. The one thing I'd say is that like I think the the paneling needs. Oh God, I'm sorry. Oh, oh, donkey. But basically, sorry, sorry, I just had a heart attack there. The panels, I think need. Sorry, before I go prescribing things. What's this gonna go investigate the dog in our backyard? That is not our dog. So right, before I go prescribing things. So the panels, I find a lot of them are very small and a lot of them are the same size. So like a lot of them are these kind of like small square panels where in the panel what you're focusing on is like things like this where it's just like a close up of a character talking and it's very it's a lot of just like the same stuff over and over again where there's not much happening except for talking heads, which I know is hard, especially when you're doing like a talking head scene because you do have the characters just kind of like discussing things through a lot of this. But I think you need to vary up your panels a little bit. So like, for example, this very first part where they're drinking together and chatting about the main character quitting his job. Like, you begin the comic with a close up of the characters, like, sitting at the bar and drinking. But, like, I think you need to add more, like, establishing shots. You have some later on, which I like. But I think you need to start with, like, showing where they are. I agree. I need to work on different angles and whatnot. Yeah, exactly. Just to kind of vary things up. You can show different moods and atmospheres with that. I think you also need to take advantage of like the vertical space that you have when you're using webtoon format, because you're not stuck in like a little short little rectangle like when you're working in print. Like you have all this vertical space and you can control how fast someone scrolls through your comic. So you could have like a really nice, like, you don't have to do this for your story, obviously. It might not fit the tone, but you could do something really cool where you can show like you can introduce a room by like starting at the ceiling, and as they scroll down, it leads them down to where the main characters are sitting at the bar. You can do like really cool stuff like that, and I think you need to take advantage of it more in your paneling. And I think you do need more establishing shots to show where the characters are before you do the close up and get into them talking, just so that I can tell where they are, who's who, set up the atmosphere and mood and stuff. But yeah, but I like, you have like little establishing shots where like he's going up to his house and the car is driving away and stuff. And you do show them sitting at the bar like at the end of the scene, but I think you need to show it at like the beginning of the scene to show where they are. And yeah, like I said, like varying up your panel sizes and angles and focal lengths and stuff will help you out a lot, just to keep things from feeling like the same over and over again. I do like reading pages like that myself. Hell yes, you can do so much cool stuff with like the webtoon format. Like, I like how you've taken advantage of like leaving blank space to show like different scenes and passage of time. So yeah, do more cool stuff like that. I think that was like my biggest kind of piece of feedback that I was getting from it. Yeah, it was just the varying of shots and stuff. Yeah. I'm not sure if this is like a preference thing from me, or but I do find you also, with your paneling, you tend to stack them all vertically, which you can do because you have that space with Webtoon and stuff. But like I've noticed you'd never have like two panels side by side as well, like two small panels. You have a lot of them that are kind of like in the middle of the screen. And again, I think it's just a problem because a lot of them are the same size, but you never have them like beside each other where you could have like action reaction type thing. I think you just got to play around with your panels a bit more. I think. Sorry, let me go read through what you wanted feedback on again. But yeah, I could tell the characters apart. It felt like the pacing was a bit weird. It might help like once you have it all kind of fleshed out, because I know you said you're not quite scripting it, you're kind of like fleshing it all out because it's like a shorter story. But I might recommend like finishing your sketches for the whole thing and then going back and editing, just because I find like I don't know if it's going too fast because I don't know how long this story is. It felt a little bit, it was hard to say. It felt like quick in some places and like too long in other places. Like you did a lot of like lingering on like the main character, like when he's going to bed and like flopping down. Like you spend a lot of time like setting up his living situation. But then other places like it goes by really quickly, like getting him straight into the new job and stuff. Yeah, so like I think you need to figure out like the full length of the story so that you can kind of get the pacing to be where you need it to be, and kind of figure out where you need to put like all of your focus and stuff and your length of scenes. I think it's hard to say. Bones can probably give you better feedback on the story, but I am no writing expert. It does feel like it jumps into things like a little bit quickly without understanding the main character's motivations up front. That's what I've been doing. I've been rearranging things and adding defining panels. Yeah, totally. Definitely. I think it is cool how you're sketching it out to figure out the story. I think that's a cool way to outline your stuff. But basically, like, it felt really fast jumping in because I felt like I didn't understand the main character's motivations, because he, like, I understand why he quits his job because he hates it, but then, like, it didn't feel like, why does he need this new job? I mean, like, obviously you need a job to work and live in our society, but but like there's no, like, I didn't understand, like, is there something else that he's like he really wants to do? Like, does he have a dream job that he was like he wants to go into, that he just needs this part-time job to, like, or I don't know if it's part-time, but he just needs this new job to like bide his time while he gets the dream job, or like builds his dream career or something. They'll be explained in chapter 2. I think you need a sprinkle of it at the beginning, because it feels fast and I don't understand why the character is doing what he's doing without, because you can dive deeper into it in chapter 2, whatever it is, I'm not sure. But you need like he needs to be on a burning platform. Like, there has to be a reason why he takes this job that he wouldn't take otherwise. You know. And And like I know logically like you need a job to make money and pay rent and stuff, but like we even just a line saying like, yeah, I can't pay rent unless I get a job like right now. Something like that. I'm not sure what his reasons are, so you'd have to find something. But you need to know his goal going into a story, just because that's like the whole driver of the story, right? Yeah, I think those were my big pieces. I think the panel stuff, and just like some little kind of structure things with the story, if that makes sense. Hopefully that is helpful. Is there anything I didn't touch on that you'd want me to talk about? Like art wise or composition wise or anything like that? I'm happy to answer. I could make that flashback a little longer. It's supposed to give the reader a punch like he's been through crap and is in trouble. Are you talking about like the flashback to where he quits his job? There's a second one? It's not in this version? Okay, I was like, did I misread? Remember when I said I was fixing some stuff? Okay, so if there is a version where his motivation is mentioned, then that's totally cool. Sorry, I was having a panic moment, like, did I misread something? Because I know I've done that before. It's very bad. But yeah. But yeah, if there's something that's saying like he's been through stuff and he's in trouble and that's why he needs like this job, I think that'll do it. You just need something to say like, why is he taking this job that has like a bizarre circumstance to it? It's like you've got the inciting incident down, but you need like the reluctant call to adventure or whatever, right? Yeah. Hopefully that covers things. Let me know if you have more questions. I'll put it to work. Hell yeah. Thanks for submitting. Okay. So if that's it, I think we can go to V, who volunteered. I have to go back to work now. Oh heck. Okay. Have fun at work. Good luck. Okay, V. Where are you, my friend? Okay. Where's your notes? Right, so you wanted focus on the color for this. You said the criteria you've set for your comic coloring is having one shading tone and one highlight tone for everything, and it's all like mostly cell shaded for efficiency. Oh, bye, Battle Box. Okay, so I think one that's a really good strategy is having like a very limited, not limited, but like a very efficient coloring style for a comic because you have to do it a lot and it takes a lot of time. So anything you can do to speed it up is lovely. Oh, goodbye, Ace, as well. So yeah, anything you can do to speed up your coloring is 10 out of 10. Great strategy. So looking through the colors and everything. First off, I really love this first panel here where like he's in the studio doing his stretches or whatever. I like the colors of it. It feels very like light and airy. It feels like it's nice and bright. It feels like a very welcoming space. I think the way you colored it with like the gradients and the yeah, honestly, your gradients are doing a lot of work here, which is like nice. But I like how you've set like the room feels very voluminous. Like you've modeled the room really well is what I'm trying to say. And like I like the little detail you have of like the floorboards and stuff. I love the little shinies on the mirror. And yeah, it's just really nice. That room has like a lot of depth to it. I find, yeah, honestly, the colors on this first page are like really nice. Everything is like nicely balanced. The colors are very bright and welcoming. Sorry, gathering my thoughts here. But yeah. Sorry. I like the color choices. I like how you've got this like this balance of like the brown and the blue playing off each other, which is very nice. I also like how the siblings have like she has like a touch of green to her hair where his is more like a touch of blonde at the end. I think that's like a cute little thing. But yeah, but I really like the colors. I think this like kind of sky blue really goes really well with this like kind of light kind of pine wood tone. And yeah, it all works real nice. Yeah, and you don't like there's no big contrast issues. Like you don't have to worry about like the background and the foreground like melding together or anything. The teacher, he stands out quite a bit just because he's got like such a dark color palette. But like none of them have like a super light color palette, so I think you're fine. But he definitely stands out a lot because he's wearing such dark colors. As for the style of like shading and stuff, it's really subtle, but I like what you did with Elle's cardigan here. It looks like there's a gradient on it. I'm not sure if I'm seeing things, but it looks like there's a light gradient on there that's just like it's nice and subtle. It's really helpful on these like on black tones and like dark gray tones. Oh no, it's starting. My throat. A little soft shading. Yeah, it's nice. I like how subtle it is. It really helps with those darker tones and darker values to like give them shadow and shape instead of just going like super dark altogether. So I think that's a really nice touch. And I've noticed you've done it on his shirt and stuff. I find this little gradient on his shoulder feels like a little bit too bright. I might tone this down a little and make it more subtle or bring it across his back more because it makes it look like there's like a flashlight kind of shining on his shirt. So just be conscious of like making sure you're modeling the forms and stuff. Because I like how you've got the gradient coming from the side here because he's obviously like the light from the window is coming in and like you can see it on his hair, and I like how it's like gradienting from his shoulder, which is nice. But yeah, but just this one here is like a little bit too bright. Yeah, and that's awesome. If it's quick to do, that is like fantastic. But it looks really good. I really like it. There were, I think it's this page in particular. Because the first one I found, like, your color palette is like really nice. It's really focused, I think, with the kind of blonde brown and the blue, and then you have the characters like individual colors as like highlights, like with their hair colors and stuff. But it's very focused and it feels very balanced. I found with this one, the colors, especially the colors in the foreground and the background, are kind of clashing a little bit. It feels like the background, this is the page I was struggling with the most. The palette was supposed to stay warm tones to associate with the flashback. Okay. So I think what has happened is your background is very warm, but your characters in the foreground are still very cool. And I think you need to take their colors and shift them into warmer tones. So like you're gonna be taking the like kind of green teal hair and you're gonna shift it to a warmer tone. So it's gonna go like probably pretty yellow. Or maybe like a gray blue type thing. But you're gonna have to change it from what it is. But it'll still read as the teal blue. Even if you shift it to kind of match the warmer colors around it. They're not really part of the environment. Yeah, like that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Where like, because the background is so warm. You've got this like really orange like brown from the trees. You've got like this orange like ground or sand or whatever it is in the background, like it's, and this kind of peachy orange going on that's like so warm that it's like clashing with the blue and the green on them. So yeah, so I think you just got to shift their colors so that they're a bit warmer. Yeah, it's what I do a lot. It's really hard because you've got these characters that have set color palettes and you want to be able to still read the colors but like shift them around. So what I do is I'll usually grab the layers and kind of play around with them on like a color wheel, and just shift them around slightly until they feel right and then go from there. They need a common tone to tie the background and foreground. Super subtle overlay on top of everything. I'd be careful about overlays. They can wash things out. I think putting an overlay is a good place to start, but then I would like kind of color pick out of that and then go and change the colors manually. Just because I think adding an overlay to everything, yeah, just you run the risk of like washing things out and getting rid of contrast. Whereas like doing it manually, you can keep that contrast strong. Yeah, that makes sense. But an overlay is a good place to start if you're not sure how the color should look. Yeah, one thing Bones pointed out when he was looking at this was we were having trouble differentiating the main character from his brother. Just because their hairstyles are very similar and the colors are like exactly the same. So I'm not sure if maybe you want to change like the color around or just something to differentiate them like a little bit. Because like I know the older brother has like the longer pieces to his hair. But yeah, but I just something like they need like a little something to differentiate them a little bit more.
Sorry, I forgot I had a microphone.
Hey, boss.
I can't see the picture right now. But they have gradients in their hair, right? Like maybe you could push one of the gradient to go up more.
True. Kind of like how Elle has the like the reverse gradient where she's got the green at the tips of her hair.
Yeah. Because like maybe the yellow climbs up higher on one of their head than the other. I don't know. They do look very similar. You're gonna run into problems 100%, unless they're meant to be Eris and Elias.
Yeah, unless
Like,
they're
yeah.
meant to be mixed up, but yeah.
But I've read it, so I know they're not. So there you go.
Yep.
That's my opinions.
Yeah. Yeah, so not sure what you want to do, but they just need something to differentiate a little. For the final page, I think overall it works. I think you've got the same kind of problem up here. Well, no, I don't know. I think you're having like a little bit of color clash with the orange kind of impact background at the top here. Like it's not quite meshing with the other colors on the page. I do really like what you did here, where oh my god, I'm sorry. But yeah, but I know this is like part of the flashback, and then he's back into the. He comes out of his thoughts, I guess, which I really like what you did. I like how it's all cloudy and then it gets brighter as it goes along. I think that's a nice touch. But yeah, but I think you've just got the same problem where the colors are kind of clashing with in the flashback panel. But yeah, but in the current scene, I think the colors really work. I like how the teacher's hair, like the pinky purpliness to it, kind of plays off Elle's shirt. Yeah. I think for the rest of the scene, the colors are looking good. Yeah, warm up that first panel. I think will help a lot. Yeah. Yes. So yeah, do you have any other questions, V, or anything I didn't cover? I think actually one more note. I think with some places you could darken some of the shadows. I noticed it mostly in these bottom panels where I think the shadows can be darkened just like a skosh. Just a smidgen, like darkened a little bit. I know you probably don't want to go like you probably don't want to add like detailed darker shadows and stuff because you want to keep like the coloring simple. But if you're gonna do that, then I think you gotta like darken it just like a little bit because they're a little bit light down here. I was afraid it was too dark. No, I think you're like almost there. It's got to be darkened just like a little bit. I definitely recommend like maybe doing a couple tests at like different values and then giving it to people to look at and let you know if it's like too dark or too light. You're upset over the flashback scene? It's hard. Color relativity is mean. I'll be braver with values. Hell yeah, you can do it. You're great with color. I think you can do it. I think you are powerful. More powerful than you know, V. Thank you, that's everything? Okay, awesome. Thank you for submitting. Okay, who would like to go next? We have Alice. We have Clad. We have Kuro. We have Hex. We have Oberon. And we have Cole. Oberon wants to go. You have to go in a moment? Okay. I will look at your stuff. Where did it go? There it is. Okay, my friend. Let's see. Okay, so the first is William on the left and Edward on the right, therapist and scholar gaze, respectively. We stand. A general critique, more specifically with the form, shapes, and structure, which are things I struggle with. First of all, this background is like, mwah, so good and pretty. It's so pretty. I love the colors. I love the texture. Like, dang, that is so pretty. I love it. I love how you've got all these different like hues in it. Like you've got like this like blues and pinks and purples and like peaches at the top. It's just so good. Yes. Thank you. Okay. Now that we understand how much I love the clouds in the background. I like the light effects you have going on the characters. I find it's a little bit strong here at the top of oh shoot, I just read the names and I've already forgotten them. On William here. Like because the clouds are there, like I don't think it would be quite that bright where it like blends in with the background. I think you'd still have like a bit of that hard edge. Kind of similar to like how it is down here on Edward. So I think that just needs to be toned down like just a skosh, just a little bit. But otherwise, I really like the kind of halo lighting you've got going on in them. I think that's really nice. As for like structure and stuff, I like what you've done with the horns specifically. Like they feel very like the shading on them feels very structured. So like you've got this kind of like the shadow kind of gradients out just to show like the cylindricalness of the horns, which is really nice. You've got some cool like lighting effects on them to really highlight the shape. And same with his horns down here. And I like how you've got like the highlight and shine on them. Like they're just very well rendered where they feel like shapely. Whereas I find the shading on the characters feels a bit more flat. And I don't think it's just because it's like hard brush cell shaded. I think part of it is just like the placement of the shadows. Like on his neck here, it feels like there's like too much light on his neck, if that makes sense, where they're like, if the sun's like directly on them, like there'd be more kind of shadow and more kind of structure. Like you need to show off that his neck is cylindrical as well. Like same with the horns and stuff. And yeah, like I think you gotta like not be afraid to like put more shadow on things, because it feels like you're shying away from putting shadows like on their faces, where like I feel like he needs like more shadow on his jaw and like on his nose and like under the hair and stuff, especially because like this lighting in particular is very like what's the word? It's very dramatic. So like the shadow should also be dramatic. I'm relatively new to cell shading. Yeah, you gotta kind of like really figure out where your shadows are, because they are so like they have such stark contrast with everything that you gotta kind of go hard. Yeah, because I like the textured shadow on like the hem of his shirt jacket thing. Like there needs to be like a bit more shadow like over here on like his shoulder, just because where the light is there, it would cast like a heavy shadow kind of here at the front of your shoulder. And I feel like his face would be like more of it partly shadowed just because where the light is hitting. But yeah, I think you just got to go harder with your shadows. Because I think you do have a good sense of like shape and form, like, because like where you've added like light effects and like on the horns, like I know you can do it. You've got you understand it. I think you just gotta like be more bold with your where you're putting shadows and highlights and stuff. Yeah. Do you have any other questions on that? Did I forget anything? Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Not on this one? Okay, perfect. We'll keep going for time's sake. The next one is a cover I made featuring William, the main character. He ended up a bit buffer than I intended. It's okay. This work as a cover for a webcomic. I'd like a critique about how it reads as a cover. Okay. So I think this would be a great cover for a webcomic. It feels like the cover of like an anime or like a manga. But it definitely feels like the cover of a webcomic. I like the composition quite a bit. I think some of the elements need to be moved. Yeah, it is very Ghibli. But I think some of the elements need to be moved around just like a little bit. Mostly the text. But I like how you've got this very symmetrical kind of like half moon shape going on. Like you've got it with like the hills and the flowers and the clouds, and like the way his jacket is like moving up, and it's just like in his shapes in general, like with his suspenders and his horns and stuff. Like it's this very like half circle shape. Yeah, so I think compositionally all the background elements are like working out nice. You're doing a good job with like the placement of things. Like I like how the title is kind of like you've broken it down like vertically into thirds, where you've got the main character's face like in the top section. I can't think of words today. And then you've got the title in the bottom like section, which is nice. I think you've got a good balanced composition there. I think the title is being swallowed up a little bit by his like silhouette, and I think it needs to be a bit bigger. Sorry, let me pour some more tea so my throat doesn't die. Goodness. So yeah, so I think it's just being eaten up by his silhouette, and I think it just needs to be a bit bigger and contrast a bit more. So like, I think because you've got like kind of that outer glow kind of white on it, I think maybe you need to make that more so that you have a bit of an outline between your text and the background. You could do that with like, you could try adding like a shadow to it. You could try adding like a maybe like a more crisp outline stroke around it. You can play around with what you want to do to separate it a little bit, but I think it needs that separation. You could also play around with like the color of the title to help make it stand out. Like I like the gold. Sorry, I like the gold. It feels like it's got good vibes with the rest of the image. So I'd like to keep that as much as possible, but just like I think it needs to be bigger. Like I'd fill it up like this whole bottom part with the title if I were you. Yeah. Just because like the title's big and important, give it lots of space. Save Ursula's throat. Yeah, so make it bigger, add some more separation between it, some more contrast, whatever it is, play around with it. But yeah, I think that's what it needs. The only other thing I'd point out is I found his jacket a little confusing. When I was looking at it like from far away in like the thumbnail view, I thought he had like wasn't sure. It looked like shoulder pieces instead of like a jacket flying in the wind. I think it's just a structure thing where I think you need to show like a back piece. Because right now it looks very like cut in half. There's no like fabric kind of going around his back to show the jacket. But yeah, so I think you just need to do a little structuring on that jacket there. Hello, welcome. If that makes sense. I'd also bring it like around behind his neck a little bit too, that fur piece. Just because you can add more of like that circle thing that you got going. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, colors are great. Composition's great. Just little things, especially the title. So yeah. Yeah, if you have any other questions about that one, let me know. I'll move on to the next one just because I know you're short on time. But I can go back and answer questions. So finally is a page. Oh, is this the page you were working like really hard to get done? Hell yes. It's at the middle or end of a scene, so it's no establishing shot. Okay, because that would have been my first thing. It's like, where's your establishing shot? This is the page one. Okay. Oh, right, because he's a therapist, so he's helping this girl out. A more general critique, maybe about the flow. It's a pretty simple page. The composition, colors, and form. Okay. So again, I think you're doing really cool things with lighting. That I am living for. I really like the high contrast of like the direct sunlight, and then the like darker shadows around. I think that's really cool. Keep it up with your cool lighting tricks. I find I really like this third panel quite a bit. It's got like really cool contrast. I like how where the sun is hitting like the side of her hair and like on her sweater and stuff, like the light is blown out. So like you lose the line art because it's so blown out. I think that's a really cool effect and shows like just how strong the sun is. So I think that's a really nice effect. I find some of these, you've got some like light rays coming in from the back here. They feel a little bit choppy. I think you'd be better off using like a gradient and maybe not having like individual rays or strokes, or if you do, like blurring them out a bit more. Just because like they don't quite fit with that really glowy, blown out look you've got going. So just like blurring them out or using a gradient or something will really help strengthen that. I like the subtle gradient of the shadow in the background. I like how you're using like a limited palette for the page. Like I like how you've got these greens and then you've got this like kind of reddish brown, and then some like lighter cream colors that are like still kind of like that warm red color. So like good work with the colors. I find sorry, parsing through my thoughts here. I find in the top panels the shading feels a little bit weird, like it's making things feel kind of flat. Just because of the I think you need to add some like darker shadows. Sorry. Some darker shadows into here. Just to define like the shape of their faces and stuff. Just because they feel like a little bit flat with just the rim light. So yeah, just needs like a little bit more contrast on their faces, especially because like the background green is so dark. that it feels strange that like the light isn't affecting them in the same way, if that makes sense. Like they should also have some darker shadows on them personally. I don't mind it so much here at the bottom because like you've got a lot of like good contrast between like she's like really light and the background's really dark, so I think that's fine. But I think up here it just needs like a little bit more contrast and shadow. Oh Hex, I'm sorry that this stream keeps crashing for you. Yeah, but otherwise it's looking pretty good. The flow works well. I like how you've got like a little curve thing going on where you've got like her up here with the speech bubble, then it goes down to him, and is the like the way he's facing kind of like brings you down into the last panel. So the flow is good. The composition is good. I like how you've kind of highlighted like focal points with these big splashes of light. That's like a really good. I normally talk about this with like doing black and white comics where you either have like the largest, like the darkest point as like your focus or the lightest point in like a field of dark. So I like how you're using it in color as well, which makes sense because they follow the same rules. But I like how you kind of highlighted the focal points with this really light, bright light. Oh no, I know it's all gonna crash for everyone. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, but I think you've done a really good job with this. I think my one issue with it is like it's hard to say because it's part of a scene, so I'd have to see like the other pages around it. But I feel like the panels at the top just feel kind of squished. I'm not sure why. Like I'm not sure if it's just because like I get you're doing cutoffs of the face to kind of show like his discomfort. But like there's something about it that just feels squished at the top. You know? I'm sorry I can't describe it better, but there's just something there. But I might feel differently if I saw other pages that are around it and to see how things lead into the page. So yeah. But yeah, hopefully that could make them bigger. I'm not sure if it's like a bigger problem. I think it's just this top panel is like it's a cutoff of her and it's like right at the top. And it's like a very close-up shot of her. Like I wonder if it just needs to be like pulled down or maybe smaller. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. It feels like something needs to be adjusted, but I feel like I'd have to see it to give you a good answer. I'm sorry. Yeah. So, is there anything else you wanted me to touch on or cover? Any other questions you have? Does her face feel inconsistent? No. I mean, I'm only seeing 2 panels of her, but like, no, I can read her as the same character. I wanted her to look healthy in the first one, but sick in the third one. Oh, no, I didn't get that. She looks like the same to me. Like, I would honestly like push her looking sick more in the third one. Like I know she's got like some kind of dark circles under her eyes, but maybe like darken them, make it like bigger. You can maybe make her cheeks more sunken. That kind of thing. I think you just need to push it more with making her look sick. I thought it would be enough. I'm sorry. You gotta push it more. Yeah. Can I send one? We are only looking at work done by our Patreon supporters. So if you would like to submit, you can sign up for our Patreon. There should be a link down below, and you get to submit your stuff for the next month, just because we do it all a month in advance. Thank you, Orsupa. No problem. Thanks for submitting. Okay. Who would like to go next? We have Alice. We have Clad. We have Kuro. We have Hex. We have Cole. Yeah, sorry, tiramisu. Hex is here? Okay. Let's get it in before it crashes again. Okay. Let's do it. Where are your notes? There they are. So the first one's another design for Silas. A new AU. Staff is magic. He can pull anything out of it as long as he can somehow imagine it fitting in there. Drawing feet is hell, isn't it? Isn't it just? You're unhappy with the left arm. Okay. Listen, I'm loving the cut of his shirt. We love a low cut shirt. So looking at it, I think, so looking at the left arm that you're having trouble with, I think it's just like the hand is too big, especially like the fingers, in comparison to like the rest of the arm, if that makes sense. I feel it too with the right arm as well, where just like the hand's like a little bit too big. It just needs to be like sized down a smidge. The other left. Shoot. Yeah, I think it's just the I also think on this left, the this left, the upper arm is shorter than the forearm. I think that's how it feels anyway. So yeah, it might just be the lengths of the arm segments, if that makes sense. That's the other thing, Cole. The other thing I was gonna say is I feel like the shirt and the pants are a little too close to his skin color. So like at first glance, I didn't think he was wearing pants. So yeah, so I would recommend like I think I messed it up when I added the clothes. Oh no. I might lighten the clothes up to like a white, like a pure white, instead of having this kind of like off-white pinky color. Just to get like a little bit more contrast in there. You could also try darkening his skin or adding like different tones to the shadow. Oh no, it crashed again. I'm sorry. Hopefully you'll be able to rewatch this after. But what was I saying? Yeah, I think just changing like some of the colors around just to help distinguish the shirt and his skin a little bit will help you. Because you've got good contrast with like the apron and the bodice and stuff. It's really just the undershirt and pants that oh yeah, using a bluish color instead for the clothes, that could work too, especially because you've got like the blue and the green for the apron. You could use blue, you could use a green, like a cooler shadow for the outfit. I think if I draw this outfit again, I'm gonna do a different white. Yeah, like a cooler white instead of like the pinky white. Yeah. The feet honestly are looking pretty good. like you've done a good job with like the foreshortening here with the front facing foot. Um Goodness, sorry. Um I think this one feels like a little bit flat, and I think it's like a shading issue where like it needs some more shadows, especially like feet have like a surprising amount of shadow on them. Especially around like the ankle area. We've got like all the little bones and stuff. Um yeah, I think it just needs like a little bit of shading around the ankle, and that'll make it feel a little less flat. Um but yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Yeah. Otherwise it's looking cute. I'm sorry, am I like slurping into the mic? My bad. Save Ursula's throat 2021. Hell yes. Thank you. But yeah, otherwise it's looking cute. Do you have any other questions, Hex? Or anything I didn't cover? I think the feet shadow is scary because I already had trouble drawing them. Fair. Yeah, I think you just gotta, you gotta give it a shot. You gotta try it. I'm not sure how to go about it. I'd grab some reference. You could try doing some like, because you have some like subtle gradient shading that you do like on like the forearms and stuff and on the legs, like giving that a try. Definitely grab reference, that'll help you out a lot, but like, oh my goodness. Because like the feet have two like kind of like circular structures in them, one being the heel and the other being like the ball of the foot. So treating them like doing some of that kind of like circular shading on it will probably help. And then like pulling it back so that it's not like two circles. But you know what I mean. Just adding some of that kind of like light gradient shading to it could work. Yeah. Hopefully that helps. Feet are swollen hands. No. Girl, no. How dare you? I do sell feet pics for reference, Jude. Stop. No thanks, Charlie. Exactly. We said no thank you. Oh my god. Okay. Let me know if you have any other questions. Otherwise, I will move on to the next one. This one didn't load? Hello? There we go. Dang, my business is failing. I'm sorry. You need a better business model, June. Okay. Second is Rhett. I drew in draw pile. The front leg is. I try. Okay, gave up on the front leg. I don't know. I like the front leg. I think you did a good job with it. I think you did a better job than you're giving yourself credit for. Because I think I really like the pose. You can feel like the tilt of the hips with this pose. And I like how, yeah, there's just something about it. I think you did a really good job with like the the thigh and stuff, and the tilt of the like the shoe to tell that it's like pointing down a little bit. I think you did a good job. I think you're not giving yourself enough credit here. Also, I love some good ripped jeans. Hello. Color-wise, as always, very lovely. I love the contrast of the orange and the blue on them. Oh no, Kuro's crashed. It's starting. It's happening again. I think... Yeah, I really like how you've tilted the hips forward. And I like how you show like the bend in the stomach area. With like the chest and the rib cage kind of like leaning forward. But yeah, you're doing a good job. I also like, I think it's just like a scuff on their arm, but I like the definition on the forearm there. That's nice. I like how when the bicep curls, you've got like a little bit of like a muscle showing. I think that's nice. That's a nice touch. I do find the hand is looking a little strange. I think it's the positioning of the fingers. It might also just be a trick of like the scuffs on their knuckles, where it makes it look like these fingers like are going back too far into the palm. And I also think this arm that's closest to the camera, I think you're having the same problem where the upper arm is like a little bit too short compared to the forearm. I wasn't sure about that hand. Yeah. It's like almost there. I think it's just the positioning of the fingers that's like a little bit off. But yeah, and I think you've got the same issue you were having with the stylus picture with the arm section length. Cause like you've got it fine for the arm on the other side. So like, yeah, it might just be like a perspective issue type thing. Finger positioning is so hard. It is, because they overlap and there's so many little pieces. I feel you. I feel you. Might also be the jacket. Yeah, it could be the jacket's like blocking it too. It looked fine before I added it. Ah, yeah, it could be cutting it off weird. How do we share our work? If you support us on Patreon, you can submit your work for next month, because we do the artwork submissions on a monthly basis. There should be a link down below if you are interested. I don't remember if I changed something about the arm after. I don't know. Yeah, overall, I think you did a really good job with the pose. What are we making caterpillars? Arms? Is arms caterpillars? What's the impression on them? Oh, they seem like a gentle eco punk, like a crunchy punk. Like, okay, maybe it's just because I've been playing lots of Stardew, but they remind me of Sebastian from Stardew, but like with like but also like a cool like healthy eco lifestyle. This is my 90s dream. Yes, I do love them. I love a punk. But yeah, but they seem like they're Stardew character. Yes. Hex. Thank you. Yes. Oh my god. Cool hippie. Yes. That makes me so happy. You have no idea. I'm playing so much Stardew. But yeah, but I love the little like color pops around them. Like, do they have a bee farm? Or are an amateur beekeeper? Because that would make me happy. But on the side, they like will go to the bar to like see live music and maybe help a friend out if they get into a bar brawl. Like, I feel like they're not starting fights, but they're gonna help their friend finish it. They live in the city, but they're gonna move in with my friend's farmer. Yes! I love it. Noting that down for the future. Oh my goodness. They don't start fights, but they get into them a lot. Yeah, they seem like gentle. Like, they seem like a gentle person, but they're like, they'll stand up for someone, you know? They get beaten up a bunch. Oh, oh no. They'll fight. Very good. I love them. I am in love with them. Especially now that I know that they're a Stardew character. Okay. Did you have any more questions, Hex? Oh, I should pour more tea while I wait. I don't understand. Like, I know I'm doing, like, more talking than I do on streams, but it can't be that much more talking than normal. Like, why does it affect my throat this much? Because I talk. Well, I guess Bones also talks on other streams, but, like, I can't be doing that much more talking than I normally do on a stream. I guess it has been 2 hours, but I mean, I don't usually, my throat isn't dying halfway through our other streams, so I don't know. I don't know. The stress just destroys my throat. No questions? Okay, cool. So the final one. Okay. New character, they, them, is inspired by NSR. No Straight Roads, a video game? Okay. Never heard of it. I don't know. They don't actually fit into that universe. They were a gaseous? I don't know. I can't remember how to pronounce that word. Being operated by some robotic parts. The red dot sketch is the main design. To get it down, the other full body is partly broken apart and inky. Like a phase 2 fight thing. Okay. They can change colors, move their ears around, mostly depending on their mood. Not like my usual character designs. I don't know how it works. Okay. Okay, I see. So their main body is like made up of gas, but they have like these robot parts inside. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Gaseous. Okay. It's all them vapors. We're back to the vapors. Oh, you're right. It does have some like Baymax vibes. I think it's the ears. Because he has those little like antenna thingies that stick up. Yeah, I think it's the ears. I do like how they move. I think that's a very cute idea to really show the emotion going on. Don't make fun of me, Charlie. Yeah, I really like how expressive they are. I love that expression of the little blushy. That's so cute. But yeah, the ears are like my fave. I like how they perk up when they're happy. I like how they like turn down when they're sad. That's a nice touch. How do they move up and down? That's so cute. Okay. So right, and then that's like the form 2. It looks like there's like a art piece inside or something. Oh, okay. And it looks like the arms are like full of machinery. The inside's full of machinery, but there's also like gas. I'm a little confused about how their like body works, but it sounds like you're figuring it out a little bit too. Where like I'm not sure what parts are solid and what parts are gas, because I assumed they were all gas except for like their like chest piece and the head. Like I didn't realize the arms were solid as well. They have gas for blood. Goodness. Yeah. I really like the kind of floatiness of the neck and the face. Like I feel like that you can move the head around to do some really cool like expressiveness with it. Like I like how you've got some like tension to it, so when it's like pulling upwards it like gets narrower, like I don't know if you're pulling like slime apart or something, but it's like gas. But you know, it's still got that vibe. I don't actually know anything about robot parts, so I'm just messing around. Yeah. They tilt their head upside down when they're confused. That would be cute. But yeah, I like the design a lot. I love the face. I like the head. I like the big hands too. I honestly like might make the head bigger. Cause like I think you need to like push it a little bit more with like some of the proportioning. Because I like how it like snakes down into a tail at the bottom. Is your throat okay? I don't know. Ursula is dead. I don't know. Like it shouldn't be this bad. My throat, like it shouldn't be this scratchy. But here we are. But anyways, I would play around with proportions a little bit. Because I think you could, if you don't want to like make the orb part bigger, you could do something interesting with like putting the gas kind of around it to like make it feel bigger. Just to kind of like, you could get this cool like kind of narrowing triangle shape where it's like wide at the top and gets really narrow at the bottom. And also I think if he had a bigger head it would be cuter, but that's just me. But yeah, but his face is just so expressive. I just want it to be like bigger. But overall really cute. Like I like how the colors change with like their emotions. I like the shapes to it. Yeah, it's looking really cool. Did you have any questions or like did you want me to like guess at their vibes? At their personality and stuff? Sip, sip. I was gonna say that. So, they seem very... They seem like, they'd be like a fun, like, companion sidekick character, in a story. Oh, I should get some honey for my tea. I think our honey is packed away though at the new house. Dang it. After I'll have a nice hot like lemon tea or something. Just a little bottle of honey. Yes. My goodness. But yeah, but they seem like they read to me as like a sidekick character or like a side character or like a friend. Maybe it's just like cuz they seem like cuz they are like kind of a robot-ish type character. Maybe it's just like all the archetypes from like movies and TV and stuff. It's always like the robot is like the side character, like the droids from Star Wars or something, where they seem like a pal. But they seem like a bit of a goofball, a total cutie. I also like, maybe it's just from all the like the hand gestures and stuff. I feel like they don't talk. And they mostly just like make little beep boop noise. I mean, they are friend shaped, yes. Oh, you're right. Master Boy and Alita are the protagonists. But those are very like human looking robots. I'm thinking more of like when they look more kind of like non-human, they tend to be like side characters. But anyways, but yeah, but they seem like a goofball. They seem like they make like little beep boop noises. They communicate in emoji projections. I don't think they beep boop. Oh, I wish they beep booped. But yeah, but they seem like, I really like how expressive they are and how they use like these big faces and like their hand gestures and stuff. And I feel like they would go into that like boss mode, like that second fight form, either to protect a friend who got hurt or because their like system is being taken over by a bad guy. That's my vibe. I feel like otherwise they wouldn't hurt people. Those are the vibes I'm getting. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Those are the vibes I'm getting. So yeah, let me know if you have any more questions, Hex. Pardon my quietness. Now I can't tell if I'm sipping my tea like intentionally kind of slurpy or if it's just happening. I mean, in their second phase, they'd be partly damaged. I need to start using text to speech? Yes. I'll just write out my notes and just have a robot say them. Probably would fight for a friend? Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you for submitting, Hex. Okay. Who would like to go next? We have Cole. We have Kuro. Clad. Alice. Now I'm sniffly. I'm sorry. Kuro? Okay. Awesome. Okay, so you had these two as like a comparison of the character, correct? I kind of like that. I like how it, just because it's the same image with like two different outfits. I like how you can like animate it. That's fun. Bye, Hex. Thanks for coming. Okay, let's find the notes. Okay. Oh, right. So you submitted these characters previously for a different crit stream. I remember these characters. Okay, can I get a crit on the general design, perceived personality, and distinguishing features? Okay. So, Senior Agent Lorraine Aspen Gibbs. Okay. So before I read the description, I'll give you the vibes. Okay. So, she seems like a cool kid. Like a total punk. I'm surprised they're like an agent. Like they strike me as very like girl with the dragon tattoo, like just like a punk who gets into fights and has like a troubled past. Like she seems very like serious and kind of not like dark and edgy in like a derogatory way, kind of just like they're like a moody dark character. I also love the tattoos. I would love to get a tattoo like this. I'm living for it. I guess she is kind of like the girl with the dragon tattoo. Just reading the little, all the scars and stuff in the stories, it's like, oh dang, that is a harrowed past. Harrowing past. But yeah, but she's got like lots of scars. I love all the tattoos. Yeah, she seems like very, has a troubled past. Very, very, she seems like she wouldn't follow the rules. She's like, no, I do it my way. I don't know that story. Oh, okay. I know of it though. Okay. That one of the main characters is similar kind of vibes. Okay, so I will read what it says. Hotshot agent who got her own team at 28. Oh dang. She's 5'3", baby. all the 5'3" under people in the chat are gonna lose their minds. I'm sorry. Okay, so that's her casual at-home attire. She doesn't care for fashion much. She just buys whatever's on sale. Oh dear. Okay, and then you also have this one. Okay. Sorry, didn't see that. In this outfit, she definitely looks more like an agent. Sorry, my bad. I didn't want to read because I didn't want to get spoiled for any of the vibes. Mia 5'2". Tiny clad. You know, Charlie's like 7 feet tall, so. Anyways. One, I would like to say you've made like a big improvement from the last time you submitted these designs. Like the art, like your drawing is like a lot less stiff, like you've got a lot more expression going on. I love this shadow that you've done with her hair, where it's like light on top and then like black shadows. That's really cool. I really like it. I think you get a lot more of, like, the posing is a lot more expressive. She seems like a lot more grumpy. Like here she seems like more aloof. Here she seems kind of grumpy and guarded. Oh no, they're fighting in the chat. But yeah. Yeah, your art's improved quite a bit since March. So that's awesome. Yeah, I love the posing. She seems like, instead of just like being cool and like crossing her arms, she seems like kind of like hugging herself a little bit, like she's like, oh, go protect myself, kind of like in a cool way, like not baby ooh way. Oh no, it's crashing. I'm sorry, Kuro. But yeah, really like it. I like the little touch of the boots. Like I like how she's kind of got this like punk vibe to her. that she, even when she's like wearing a uniform, she's still got these like cool boots going on. Sorry, I'm just reading the chat. My god. Oh no, is it crashing more? Oh goodness. Okay, hi Kuro. I was saying that I really like the kind of punk touch with the boots, even though she's wearing a uniform. I'm surprised that looking at the other outfits that she doesn't care about what she buys, that she just kind of gets what's ever on sale, because this is such like a fashion choice. Because I feel like if you don't care about what you wear, you just grab like a plain t-shirt and some jeans and you don't care. But like if you actually like do kind of care, and I mean like she's got tattoos, like I feel like she cares more about her appearance than what you were saying, just from the choices of like what she's wearing and like the tattoos and the way she presents herself. So yeah, so that's just my take from the design side of it. But otherwise I really like her. She's got like a very strong characterization from like the way you've designed her. Like her clothing feels very purposeful in that it's like, don't mess with me. If that makes sense. Oh no, your dude gave you a critique on your essay and then it crashed. No. Ugh. He's too much of a baddie to not care. Yes. She cares about how she looks but not fashion, if that makes sense. It feels like, I don't know, it feels like a little intentional. That's just what I'm getting from it. Ooh. But yeah. But I really like the design. It feels very, she's very cool. I would listen, she's kind of the character that I love. When I read stories, I'm like, ooh, cool punk lady who's tough and emotionally closed off. Hello. Compared to the wannabe fashionista on her team. Okay, do you have any other questions? I would be happy to answer. Nope. Okay. Cool. I will move on. Second is forensic scientist Giacobe? Dino Rizzo? Giacobbe? I'm sorry, I don't know how to say that name. I'll call him Rizzo. But yeah, okay, so before I read the rest, I'll try to get the vibes. So he seems very happy-go-lucky. He seems very relaxed. His shoes are pink. Yes, loving it. I love how his eyes match his shoes. Yes. Thank you. But yeah, he seems very relaxed. He seems very kind of happy-go-lucky. I feel like he'd be like cracking jokes at work, and he feels like he's like good at his job, but he like makes it look easy because he's so like cool about it and laid back. But yeah, he just seems friendly. He seems approachable. He seems like he's the one who's always cracking jokes at work, and everyone kind of rolls their eyes about it, but they all like him. Like he's got lots of charisma. Heck yeah. Also, once again, amazing steps between these two designs. Like this looks so good. The new one, so good. I love the definition of the hair that you've added. Like I love the posing and the expressions. Like it's just mwah. You've come so far. Okay. So he and Gibbs joined the agency around the same time. He's 31 and 6'2". So almost as tall as Charlie. Unlike Gibbs, he loves his fashion and will kill you if you damage his silk shirts. These are his work clothes. Okay. I love him. He's also a babe. This guy's a short king. Yes, he does seem like he cares about his appearance quite a bit. I like his coiffed hair. I love the open shirt. Very Italian. His casual clothes will be fun too. They will be if this is his work attire. He's gonna have fun in non-work attire. On casual Friday at the office. I do like how their shoes are like kind of like a look into their personality, like even though they're wearing uniforms and stuff. Yeah. But I like it. I like these two. They're a good contrast between each other. I like how he's very like bright and he's got like a sunny personality. He's sexy and he knows it. Oh no. Like I like how he's very like he seems very cheerful and she was very cold and closed off. I think it's a good contrast. He reminds me of a Pokemon professor. I can see it. I can see it. But yeah, I love him. Do you have any other questions, Kuro, that I can answer for the critique? Looking between them, I don't have it up on screen. I'm looking at Discord, but they do feel like they're different heights, which is nice. Like she definitely seems like a short lady, and he definitely seems taller. That's enough? Awesome. Well, great work. Great improvements. Okay. Who would like to go next? We have Alice, Clad, and Cole. Who's next? Who's my next victim to cough at with my terrible throat? Gibbs is bi and likes to steal his girlfriend. Oh no. Damn, that's some powerful bi energy. Seriously, you've done quite a glow up. I saw Cole and I saw Clad. I don't know if I've seen Alice. If no one speaks up, I'm just gonna jump in. And attack. Hey, Bones.
Hey, what?
Nothing.
Say, is it over?
No.
Okay.
We're still going.
I have two sets of headphones. One is music and one is you.
He's such a butt.
I got the music. I'm writing. I'm not needed.
Just looking at you. Cole wants to go? Okay, awesome. And Clad is busy? Okay. Did he fall asleep? No, Bones is awake. He's just writing, maybe? He's writing. Sorry. Okay, Cole. Let's look at your stuff. Okay, these are some background ideas I have for Ara and her uncle's home. Please tell me what you think. I'm playing with the colors and decided to test out some watercolor. Hell yeah. Okay. I love all the little details on their backgrounds. Oh, goodbye, Coral. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. So yeah, so I love the little details going on in all the background stuff. Like, I love this little desk that has like little spices on it being dried out with like the little book and like the little mortar pestle thing. And like the little plants up top. I think that's really nice. I also like the little curly legs on the chair. Like, that gives it like a fantasy vibe. I don't know why, but it does, and I like it. I also really like this kind of living room area. I think I've seen it. I think you used it in a comic page you submitted forever ago, where I really like this kind of tiered living room space. It's really cool. It's a cool setting. And I like how you have it mirrored in... Is this like a kitchen area? Where I like how like they have like shelves on the wall and stuff, and like tables that are these kind of tiered platform thingies. I think that's really cool. It looks like they're like carved out of the stone of the cave. I'm assuming it's a cave. I'm assuming it's like where the trolls... Are they trolls? I can't remember. It's the same area just from the doorway. Oh, okay. I see, I see. Anyways. I like the piles of books too. That's their main living area. They're trolls. Okay, I thought it was trolls. Just wanted to make sure. But yeah, but I like how it's like their main living area is like carved out of the stone of the cave. I think that's a really cool touch where it's like, I mean, yeah, if you're gonna hollow out like a cave for your living area, why not carve furniture out of the stone? And I like how they've got like pillows and like comfy stuff to sit on. I love the hanging lantern type things. Oh no, they're part of the pillars. For some reason I thought they were like lanterns hanging on strings, but anyways, also good. But yeah, I like them. They feel very good fantasy vibes. I like the little round like steps going up each level on the platform. And I kind of like how everything is very circular. And that's like, it's cute, you know? They're lights that are made out of crystals. Oh, okay. I like that. I like how they're kind of, they look like they have patterns carved into them too. I think that's cool. But yeah, it's just good vibes. It's a really unique living area for them, and I really like it. It also looks like cozy and like lived in as well. Like I like how it's not all like, the pillows aren't all neat. Some of them are like flopped over and stuff. Heck yes. And I like the little picture of the family. That's cute. Over the hearth. Fire. Oh, it's a crystal hanging upside down. I didn't even notice that. That's cool. So my question is like, would that give off heat? Like, do they use it for cooking and stuff? Because I'd imagine like if it's like a crystal, it wouldn't give off like heat and stuff that you'd want with a fireplace. I think it is a neat look to it, and I think it gives it that fantasy vibe. And I like how it's hanging down as if like they found it and kind of built like a hearth around it. I think that's cool. It goes off heat. Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. I like that a lot. Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing this little kind of like desk area kind of fitting with the cave vibe a little bit more. Because I find like with this main living area, like everything is very round. It's very like built into the cave. To get the rest of the living area, you have to walk underneath the hearth. And the crystal? The desk is in that room? Wait, so the other room is like you walk through the fireplace? What? Wouldn't that be too hot? I mean, that is cool. Sorry, I feel like I'm like nitpicking. I just have questions. This is cool. But yeah, but it's not for the trolls. Oh, okay. I guess that would make sense. Okay, cool. Yeah, I guess my only nitpick is like I would like to see some more of this kind of like stone aesthetic in this like secret room with the desk and stuff. As long as you don't directly touch the crystal, you won't hurt yourself. Okay. Sorry. But yeah, I think just because like it's such a cool setting having like the platforms and things carved out of the rock and stuff. I'd love to see more of that in this kind of like secret back room. Obviously, like probably not all of their furniture is gonna be like made out of stone and rock, but like instead of having like a wooden shelf above the desk, maybe you could have like a little carved in shelf into the rock so that they could have stuff like carved into the walls. Maybe like bringing in like some of these cushions to like put on the seat or something. Like just like little touches that make it still feel kind of like cave-y, if that makes sense. Yeah, I'm like in love with the living area. I think just like the back room needs like a little bit of some touches to make it like matchy with the rest, if that makes sense. Oh, okay. Perfect. Cool. Yeah, I really like the colors too. They're very like nice and cool. I also like this coloring style. I know these are just like designs, but I kind of like how it's very it reminds me of like the early Pokemon illustrations where they're watercolor, but they have this kind of like washed out kind of airbrushy kind of like feel to them. I don't know. It looks cool. I like it. I like the style. Yeah. And the colors are great. They all work really well together. Like they're all this kind of like cool, kind of bluey purple vibe to them. Like even your kind of warmer tones with the wood and stuff still are kind of color matched to the other tones. So yeah, it's looking good. Do you have any other questions, Cole, or anything I didn't answer? Nope, you're good. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for submitting. So now we have Clad and Alice. So Clad, are you still busy? Are you still a busy bee? Sorry, I'm scrolling through all the info. Is Alice here? You're good now? Okay, awesome. Okay. So you submitted some logo examples. Okay. So it's the logo for your upcoming comic. It's a fantasy setting. So too busy with the outline of the letters. How do you make it readable without it blending into the background? Okay. You want to keep it simple with black and white. Okay. So oh, it's not terrible. I think you did a really good job. I really like what you're doing here, playing around with like the different contrasts. That's something that's really important when you're designing a logo, is you want it to be able to fit on like a bunch of different backgrounds. So like I would recommend creating like a color mock-up just in case, like, you may want to keep it in black and white for now, but if in the future you have like a color illustration or like a cover or something, I don't know, trying it out in color can also help, but I think it's also a great idea to have a black and white version because that's also super useful. But yeah, but I like what you're doing where you're trying out different contrast levels to see which one works better. So looking at it from the text, like the font that you've chosen, as well as like the layout, like it definitely feels like fantasy to me. This definitely feels like a fantasy logo. A title logo thing. Oh, hello, welcome. Yeah, so it reads as fantasy to me, so that's good. I think there are some issues with readability, like you were saying. And I think it's because of the overlapping elements. It's very busy. So like having the pearls, I'm not really sure what this is back here. I'm sure it's a plot important thing, but but having the pattern in the background, and these very like skinny letters going over top, and it's like super high contrast. It just makes it a little hard to read where things overlap. So like I lose like the I and the S here. You lose a lot of the H. It feels busy. I have no idea what to do to make it less busy. It is hard. I think if you want to keep it on like this background, like having this like symbol piece in the background, you need to use like a really thick font that can survive being like put on top of something that's like detailed. So like I'm not sure if this is hand drawn. It looks at least partially edited if it is not hand drawn, but is Fado outside?
Sorry, what?
Is Fado outside?
No, they all got put away.
Oh, you're right. Okay, sorry. I heard a bark. I was like, where is he? But yeah, I would recommend thickening up the font if you're planning to keep this background. I was also looking at other like logos and stuff to get a feel of like what other fantasy logos use. I looked at like Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings as like logo title thingies. Let's see if I can find them. But like but if you look at these like because it's such like a skinny font, like similar to the one you have, like they don't really put it on top of something super detailed, so they'll either have like a black rectangle behind it. Even here, like when they're showing it on like a bunch of different colored backgrounds, they'll have like a black bar behind it, just because like otherwise it would get kind of swallowed up by the background. So I would recommend, if you want to keep this font, I think you gotta nix this the symbol in the background. Yeah, or like maybe filling it in, like I don't know. That's the thing. Like, it would be hard to read if you filled in. Like, it probably wouldn't read as like a necklace bracelet type thing. But yeah, so you either have to thicken the font or you have to remove the backing on it, unfortunately, I think. I think the outline just makes it feel like a bit too cluttered, if that makes sense. But looking at the font itself, I really like it. It feels very it feels very like fantasy kind of mythology vibes to it. Like I listen, I'm a sucker for like a little O with like a little dot in it. I think that's 10 out of 10. I'm in love with the bees. Hello? These bees are gorgeous. Makes sense. Let's see what I can come up with. Yeah. Yeah, you could also, like Starry Sky is saying, you could also, reduce the contrast of the background piece. Like make it really light. And then keep the lettering on top dark, if that makes sense. With the font, I had so many ideas, it kind of got jumbled. I don't know if I extended the I and the H was a good idea. I think I like the H and the, oh, sorry. I like the H and the I, honestly. They feel very balanced in the word hubris. I'm not a fan of the end of the N extending upward, just because it goes like above the rest of the top word born. And it doesn't feel quite as balanced. So I think you need to like bring that down so it meets like the top of the rest of the letters. But I kind of like the H and the I. Like it balances itself out. I feel, yeah. So those are my thoughts on it. But otherwise, it feels like 10 out of 10. It's good vibes. I think it just needs some like tightening up. You could also play around with like cutting the I, like keeping that diagonal slash that you have at the top and cutting it so you have like the dot above the I. That might be something cool to play around with. Furious note taking. But yeah, but I like the height on the I. I think you got to keep the height. But yeah, so, someone mentioned it might look like an L a little bit, so you might want to add like the dot or add the little like feet, the serifs on it, possibly. I don't know if that would fit, but could give it a try. I would also, with the of in the middle, I'd recommend adding a little bit of space between the two sticky bits on the F. You can tell I know my lettering terms. But yeah, but I'd recommend kind of separating these out. It looks a little like bubble font, having them like stuck together like that. And it also like, because you have this, the O here is very thin, you might want to keep the F also thin. Yeah, so hopefully that helps. I would also, if I were you, when designing your logo, try placing it on a bunch of different things. Like try putting it onto like an illustration that's like black and white and try putting it on like a colored thing. Similar to how you were trying it out in like black versus white. Just to see, like, make sure it looks good on top of things, because it's going to be going like on top of things for like promo and stuff. So yeah, so just test it out on a bunch of things to make sure it's versatile. Yeah, so do you have any other questions, Clad? Anything I didn't cover? Pardon me. I want to pour more tea. Oh no. My last bit. Oh well, we're on the last person. I don't know what to ask for. Hey, no worries. If you discover you have a question later, you can always poke me on Patreon and or on the Patreon chat. And I'm happy to answer more stuff. Yeah, okay. So let's look at Alice's stuff. I hope Alice is here. If not, they can watch it back. Okay. The first sketch is a concept of some goblin bodies for the Goblin Witch story I'm working on. I was trying to figure out how human and how creature the goblins look in this world. My co-writer thought they looked disproportionate. I'm looking for a critique on the shape language and how the different bodies look as a cast. Okay, when I was looking at it, just thinking about like the disproportionate stuff, goblins, Clad's favorite. I find so the first and the third feel proportionate to each other, and then the final two feel like they're proportionate to each other, but they don't all as a group feel proportionate. And I think a lot of it has to do with like the head size. Like obviously like they don't have to all have the same like head size. That's actually something I need to look into, is like how to have a cast that has like a very like varying shapes and different sizes and stuff, because like I feel like an easy answer is to say like they all need the same size head and that'll make them feel proportionate, but it doesn't always. And you can have characters who have like giant heads that still look like proportionate to the rest of the cast, especially if it's like a creature design. So that's on me. I need to find like a proper answer to that. But I think a good place to start would be trying to make their heads kind of closer to the same size and going from there. Because like I like how you're varying things up. Like you have these characters who are very like broad and short, and then you have these ones that are like really tall and lanky, and like they have these, you know, have a head that looks kind of like really skeletal, where like these guys have like beefier heads. I also like the difference in like their tail sizes and stuff. I'd recommend like I like how you're mixing things up, where like this guy has like a long tail, and this guy has like a short tail, and this guy has like a skinny tail. He has like a little short skinny tail, and he's got like the big long one. I find this guy in particular, the second one, is very like needs because he's so skinny, I feel like the tail needs to be skinny as well. But like I like how you're differentiating up the different body parts, and I feel like you're on the right track for like the shape language and stuff. Like I like how they're all very triangular, but they still branch out from that. So like one of them is more blocky, but you can still see kind of like the triangular shape in him, and like some of them are very narrow and it's like really skinny little triangles. But I like it. I like what you're doing. Yeah, I think you just need to play around with yeah, start by making the heads the same shape and then kind of push it from there. So see if you can get away with like having like a character who's like bigger and broader. Yeah, it's hard. I'd recommend to iterate. Oh, head height. I guess that is one way to look at it, like giving them the same height. But you can have characters who have really like skinny, tall heads, who can still feel proportionate to like other characters who maybe have like shorter heads. So like, I gotta figure out some way to describe that. I gotta go study up. But yeah, I think it's hard because I think just like the only one that really stands out to me is the second one in line, where I feel like they need to be like sized up. Like they look like they've been shrunk down. like they took the little like move tool and like shrunk the little corners. But other than that, the rest of them feel like they're very like in line with each other and proportionate. So yeah, I'd recommend doing some more iterations, like try redrawing them and pushing things. But yeah, do some iterations, keep playing, keep pushing. I think you're on the right track. Yeah, I think it's just the second guy who's like standing out from them. I also love the little teeth on the first guy. The little stinky tooth. Very cute. So yeah, hopefully that is helpful, Alice. If you have questions, please message me whenever you see this. For the next one, this is the first piece I've ever done in fresco. I was trying out the watercolor brushes. I had some trouble getting it to look sharp because there's too much water and everything kept bleeding together. Okay, so that would have been my first line of critique, was like, it's very blurred and very soft, and I think you need to go in and like try like a different brush or something just to make things more crisp, because things are definitely bleeding together. It creates like this very like blurry effect. Yeah, where I think you just need to use it in tandem with another brush that'll let you get some like crisp lines here and there. I love the colors though. I love me some purple and teal together. Yeah, the colors are great. There's little parts that I really like. Like I love right in here at like the corner of the eye. Like I like how you've used this like really vibrant purple to kind of line the eye and like create like depth and shadow on the like the upper and lower lid of the eye. I find I wish the details on the eye were like more crisp. Like I think it's good like when you have something like this, it happens in like portraiture a lot, where like the background will be kind of like faded and soft, but as you go towards like the focus, which would be like in a portrait it'd be like the face, in this case it would be the eye itself, you start soft at the edges, then get more crisp as you go to like the focus point. That's a good way to like bring attention to what you want attention on. So that's what I would have really liked to see, is like have the eye, like the eyelashes and the details in the eyes be like really crisp to make them stand out, because right now they just like, it's hard to look at because it's so blurry. Like it makes me want to like squint and be like, I'm not seeing this right, it's so blurry. So yeah, so unfortunately, like you mentioned, like it's just the tool you were trying out that caused it, but that is what I would like to see. I think there's also some shading trouble where I think you've done a good job with like adding volume to the eye, like making it feel like round and full and stuff. I especially like the shadow like under the top lid, like that's nice. But I find like you need some more highlights on the rest of the eye, because like the iris is kind of bleeding in with the white of the eye, where I think you need some more of these highlights to show like because right now it looks like the iris is sitting on top and it's like empty underneath. It's like it's creating a weird effect where it's like you need some highlights in there to make it feel like round. If that makes sense. It's just a little too shadowed on the white of the eye. But yeah, I like how you're mixing like different colors and stuff to get different different like depths and shadows, and like the shadows feel very full. It's very cool. Yeah, I love the green and the purple and the texture around the eye. It's very cool. I like the little shooting star reflection in the eye as well. That's like a cool focal point. it looks very like, I wonder if it's just the color, like this like purple burgundy stuff going on. It looks very like gory to me. Is anyone else getting that? Like it feels very like there's like flower petals or leaves like bursting out of the skin. And I think it's just from the color and the texture where it looks very much like a wound. Yeah, but it's really cool. It's got cool vibes to it. But yeah, I think the only thing I would change is like the blurriness around the central eye point. So hopefully that is helpful. Again, let me know if you have any questions, Alice. I'm happy to answer. And finally, the last one is a little sketch I did of Steve and Ina from the band comic, also in fresco, a general critique as well. So one, very cute. I like how you use the heart to kind of frame them. It's very Valentine's Day, which is very cute. Yeah, I like how you've got a lot of this like black and white contrast going on. I like how you've used like the white lines like within the black to create that contrast and show the line work. I also like what you've chosen to like make as black versus like what to make as white. Like I like how you've used, especially in her hair. I like in Ina's hair the dark stripe for like where she has the color in her hair, and then the white for the blonde. I think that's great. I also like the little white blushies. That's cute. The one thing I'm not sure about, I'm on the fence. I'm not exactly sure if it would make a difference, but I'm wondering if maybe you do need like a different tone, like a different value for the background versus like their skin tone. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that is correct. But I would be interested to see it if like either lightening the background or I don't know, using a different value or something. I'd be curious about how it looks. The only other thing I would maybe recommend is like, it feels like there's some little bits that need like cleanup. Like the bottom of the heart it's very like rounded, and it feels like because the rest of the heart, you've got this like dotted outline, and then you've got like the color fill, gray fill, whatever, of the heart. Where like these, like it feels offset, which is cool. Like I like when the line and the color is like offset, but the bottom doesn't like match the line outline. Like I think you just need to sharpen this point so it matches the gray and the line match each other, just to make it feel like a little bit more intentional. Same with where their like shoulders cut off, because you've got like an uptick here that shows kind of like the line of her shoulder, but then for him like it's like a downways arc kind of thing, like going around as like the collar of his shirt. I think either like it should have shown his shoulder as well, or like you could play around with like cutting off their shoulders like within the heart or something, or having them extend past it more. It just feels a little bit weird to the way they're cut off. Like it doesn't quite match. There's also a bit of a tangent / major merger going on with the edge of her hood, where it is lining up like perfectly with the edge of the heart. So I might recommend like bringing out more of the hood so it overlaps more. But otherwise it's cute. It's really cute. I like it a lot. I also like, I don't know if you did this intentionally, but I like how like the shape of their hair also kind of forms a heart. That's cute. I like it. You got like lots of nice little shape echoes going on. Yeah, so I think that's everything. That's it. We did it, fam. Oh my god, it has been 3.5 hours. Good lord. What a long stream. But yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out and listening to our critiques. If you yourself would like to have your work looked at, make sure to join our Patreon, and we'll look at your stuff next month on our stream at the end of... Oh, not at the end of February, because we'll be moving, so it'll be early March that it happens. But yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Good job, Ursula's voice. I know, it held out. It held out. Alrighty. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you to our Patreon supporters for supporting us. And thank you to all of you who were watching. Okay, I'm gonna go.